Hello students, hope you are studying and we are on the chapter of digestion and absorption, and the today's topic is digestion of proteins. We have already done digestion of starch, and as I already told you, the next will be digestion of proteins. So let us now start digestion of proteins. So can you tell me any one good source of protein that you eat or that some people eat? A good source of protein can be pulses for vegetarians and meat for non-vegetarians. So what are proteins? If we want to know what actually, when we say the proteins, what do we mean? What are proteins? For understanding the digestion, we should always know the structure of the substrate that we are actually studying for the digestion. So what are proteins? Proteins are made up of amino acids. Okay, so when we say that they are made up of amino acids, what do we mean? We mean that the body will absorb proteins. In which form? They will absorb proteins in the form of amino acids. And what are amino acids? They are the building blocks of protein. Okay, so what are we actually saying? That the protein has to be broken down to amino acids if we want that the body absorbs the protein that we are eating. Okay, so now what is the structure of this protein? This protein is made up of amino acids, right? So it is made up of amino acids and it has two ends. It has a long polypeptide chain which has two ends. On one end, there is an amino terminal, and on one end, there is a carboxyl terminal. So this is what? This is the amino terminal, and this is the carboxyl terminal. Okay. Now, I'll just draw a simple structure of a protein where there will be 4 amino acid groups. It is not a biochemistry class, but yes, you should know the basic structure so as to understand the digestion. So as I told you, there is an amino group. So what I am drawing the structure, a very simple structure of 4 amino acid groups, right? So as we can clearly see, amino terminal, carboxyl terminal, and there are what? There are 4 amino acid groups. So if we want to show these 4 amino acid groups, so these are what? These are the 4 amino acid groups. So now you have understood the basic structure of protein. These are what? These are 4 amino acid groups. Okay, see it. Okay, so now let's go further and study the digestion of proteins. What will happen when you eat the protein? When we eat protein, what will happen? It will come in the mouth. And what will mouth do? Mastication. Remember, I told that there are fancy words for very easy things also. Just chewing, mastication, no protein digestion in the mouth. Then it will go to stomach. Okay. So till now, no protein digestion has been started. No protein digestion has started, right? Now what will happen? The protein digestion will be started in the stomach. Why? Why? Because the stomach will do what? It will secrete what? It will secrete pepsinogen. It will secrete what? It will secrete pepsinogen for the digestion of proteins, right? And what will this pepsinogen will do? It will hydrolyze or break down the peptide bonds. Okay, easy to remember. Now let us see what is happening. Suppose it is always better to understand with the help of diagrams, right? So this is suppose your stomach cells, and this is your layer of, this is what? This is your layer of mucus. Okay, so this is mucus, and here there are what? These are proteins, large structure, large polypeptide chains of what? Right? And we have to break it down. We have to digest it. What will happen? This is secreting what? This is secreting HCl. Where are we? We are still in the stomach. And what it is secreting? It is secreting pepsinogen. We have already done that. Pepsinogen in the presence of HCl becomes what? Becomes pepsin, right? And it becomes pepsin. And what will pepsin do? Pepsin will break down the large. It will break down what? It will break down large polypeptide chains. Okay, right? So it has now become into smaller. It's still very large, but a little smaller polypeptide chains, right? So now it will, from the stomach, it will go where? From the stomach, now it will come to intestine. Now let's see what is happening in the intestine. It is a very interesting thing that is happening in intestine now. So let us see. So the first part of intestine is duodenum, right? And this duodenum is the main site for protein digestion. This duodenum is the main site for protein digestion, right? Now, what will happen whenever there is a food in the intestine? And what will happen? The pancreas will, they will do what? They will begin to secrete enzymes. And what enzymes they will begin to secrete? They will secrete trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxy peptidase. Okay, so these are what? These enzymes are all zymogens or precursors. Okay, they need to be activated. They are still in the inactive form. So now let's see what happens. So what will happen? That the pancreas are secreting this, and going into, these enzymes are going into the intestine. So now let me again draw this enterocytes, right? Now we are where? We are in the small intestine, right? We are in the small intestine, and this is what? This is the lumen of small intestine, and this is what? This is the blood capillary. Okay, yeah, bloodstream. Okay, so now what is happening? Let us see. This enterocyte will secrete what? It will secrete enterokinase. Enterokinase, and this enterokinase will convert trypsinogen to trypsin, which is the active form, and this trypsin is autocatalytic. What do we mean by this autocatalytic? That this trypsin will automatically stimulate more trypsinogen to trypsin. So trypsinogen to trypsin, now trypsin is more. So again, trypsinogen to trypsin. And in the presence of trypsin, what will happen? This chymotrypsinogen, as I had told you, these are all zymogens or precursors. It will become what? Chymotrypsin. We'll do what their functions also. First, let us see what is happening to these enzymes. Now, procarboxy peptidase. Remember what is happening to this? It is becoming carboxy peptidase. So now these are what? These are all the active forms of enzymes that will hydrolyze the peptide bonds. Okay, that will hydrolyze the peptide bonds, right? So now let us see what is happening. First, to remember all these things, that what is happening, right? So these all trypsinogen to trypsin, chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin, and procarboxy peptidase to carboxy peptidase. And this is happening in the presence of trypsin. Chymotrypsinogen is changing into chymotrypsin in the form of trypsin, and this also in the presence of trypsin. Very important to remember, right? Now let us see what is happening. Right, now again we will draw this, and suppose this is the brush border of small intestine, right, with here being the lumen and below being the blood capillary. So what is actually happening now? Suppose there is a dipeptide, right? This is a dipeptide. What will happen? There are enzymes, brush border enzymes, which will, this is what is this? This is dipeptidase. So what will it do? It will do what? It will hydrolyze this dipeptidase into amino acid. So this will be broken down. This dipeptidase will be broken down. This is dipeptidase. This will be broken down by dipeptidases into amino acids. This will be broken down into what? This will be broken down into amino acids, right? Now there are what? There are aminopeptidase also, right? So some are aminopeptidase. What is this? Aminopeptidase. It will hydrolyze the peptide bond from the amino terminal. Remember, there were two terminals, amino terminal and carboxyl terminal, right? And this procarboxy peptidase does what? It hydrolyzes from the carboxyl terminal. Easy to remember because it has a carboxy peptidase. Carboxyl group, peptidase, breaking of peptide bonds. Okay, now what? Now let us see what is happening. Now there are few triglycerides. These are what? These are, tripeptides, not triglycerides, tripeptides. What will happen to these tripeptides? They can be, there is this channel through which these tripeptides can enter directly. And when they enter, a hydrogen ion also enters. So here also this amino acids can also enter. So this is what? These are amino acids entering. Okay. Now there are tripeptides. Now there are dipeptides also. Now there are what? Now there are dipeptides also. So these dipeptides can also enter. Dipeptides can also enter with the channels like the tripeptides. So these will enter, and these dipeptides will be broken down into amino acids. By what? Because they entered at dipeptides and tripeptides. So how are they broken into amino acids? By its own. Meaning by the its own matlab by the peptidases present in the cell. Okay, so these dipeptides and tripeptides enter and they are broken into amino acids on their own, right? And then there are few free amino acids which have been already broken down. They will also enter through a channel, right? So this is how it is entering. Please see once for 2 minutes. Okay, so this is what is happening in the digestion of proteins and how the proteins are converted into, how the proteins are getting converted into amino acids. Okay, now let us see few points that you need to remember. There is no digestion of protein in mouth, and digestion of protein starts in stomach. Okay, and what happens in stomach? This pepsinogen in the presence of hydrochloric acid gets converted into pepsin. Okay, and what is happening in the, and one thing more about pepsin, pepsin cannot hydrolyze what? Keratin. So it means what? Keratin is present in walls like nails, hair. Okay, so pepsin cannot hydrolyze keratin. And some few points about pepsin. Pepsin can also hydrolyze collagen. Okay, it can also hydrolyze collagen. And pepsin can hydrolyze milk protein. Milk protein, what is what? That is casein. But trypsin cannot do so. But trypsin cannot do so. Okay. And what else is happening in the intestine? There is this trypsinogen. Remember trypsinogen? Trypsinogen is getting converted into trypsin. Trypsinogen is getting converted in the presence of enterokinase that is being secreted by the, that is being secreted by what? Small intestine and where? Duodenum. It is a proenzyme. Trypsinogen is a proenzyme or a zymogen. Okay, and then chymotrypsinogen is getting converted to what? Chymo. Please remember all this. It's important. In the presence of trypsin. That's why I'm doing it 2 times. Procarboxy peptidase. What is special about procarboxy peptidase? That it is hydrolyzing from the carboxyl group. Carboxy peptidase. Proelastase. In the presence of trypsin, getting converted to elastase. Okay, and peptones. What is happening to peptones? In the presence of chymotrypsin, getting converted to dipeptides. And how are these dipeptides being absorbed? They're just coming inside and getting broken down by the peptidase present in the cells, right? This dipeptides, I showed you these dipeptides coming into the cell, and they are being broken down into amino acids by the peptidases present in the cell. Okay, so now few other points: peptones to dipeptides, and some proteoses in the presence of carboxy. You have to remember this, and it's not difficult. Dipeptides and elastin in the presence of elastase, dipeptides. Okay, and what is happening to dipeptides? What is happening to dipeptides in the presence of dipeptidase? It is becoming amino acids, right? And what is happening to peptides in the presence of amino peptidase? It is becoming what? Amino acids. Remember, I showed you with the blue color this amino peptidase. See, amino peptidase hydrolyzing the peptide bond from the amino terminal, right? So this is all about digestion of proteins. And okay, let me tell you one more thing before ending the session. What happens, like what we studied, that during digestion, what is happening during digestion of proteins? What is happening? Proteins is getting converted to amino acids, right? But what was happening in starch? Glucose, building blocks, glucose, either they were used in energy or they were stored as what? Glycogen in liver and all. But in the case of amino acids, amino acids are not stored. Unlike carbohydrates, which are stored, they are not stored. Amino acids are used in what? Either they are used in ATP production, right? Or they are used for the synthesis of new proteins. For what? New proteins for what? For body growth, repair, some wear and tear, always taking place. Okay? Right? So they are not stored. Unlike carbohydrates, they are not stored. And one more very important, interesting thing, that the excess of amino acids, what will happen to them? They are not excreted. They're not excreted in urine or feces. Now from this you can understand that how important is amino acid, that the body is not ready to give it out. No, I don't want to give it out. But what is it doing if it is not excreted? They are getting converted. They are, these amino acids are, these amino acids are not excreted. What is happening if they are not excreted? They are getting converted to glucose. By what? By the process of deamination. And what is deamination? Deamination means it is removal of, remember, amino group. Now you understand why I always tell you the structure. Removal of amino group, that will result in what? That will result in ammonia, and that is converted into urea. Okay, and or first process deamination or by gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis. We write it a little better. Gluconeogenesis. Right? Now, what is this gluconeogenesis? Genesis, something is getting made. Neo, let us see what is this. So suppose there are amino acids. Let's take some examples of amino acids. Alanine, cysteine, glycine. What are these? Serine, threonine. What are these? These are few amino acids. These are what? Few amino acids, right? So what is happening to all these amino acids? They are getting converted to pyruvic acid, which then may be synthesized into glucose or enter the Krebs cycle for ATP production, right? And what else can be? There was one more point I wanted to tell you. Yes, the excess of amino acids, these 2 points, that these two, remember, deamination and gluconeogenesis. Now excess of amino acids can also be converted to triglycerides. Now see how important protein is, and by the process of lipogenesis. So what is actually happening? The amino acid is getting converted to fatty acid to the triglycerides. So when mama scolds you for eating dal, it is for a purpose, because she knows that proteins are important. Let us see what we have studied once. Just go through. Right? We started with digestion of proteins. Then we said what is a good source of protein? What is a good source of protein? What are proteins? Okay, how will the body absorb protein? So proteins should be broken down into amino acids. Then we studied about the structure, the carboxyl terminal, the amino terminal. Then we studied a basic structure where there were 4 amino acid groups. And in the mouth, there is no digestion of proteins. It starts in the stomach. Why? Because the stomach is secreting pepsinogen. Okay, and pepsinogen, how it is pepsinogen? In the presence of hydrochloric acid, it becomes pepsin. And what does pepsin do? It hydrolyzes peptide bonds. Okay, now the food from the stomach reaches the intestine, and duodenum is the main site for protein digestion. And when the food is in the intestine, the pancreas will also do their role by secreting enzymes like trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxypeptidase, which are all what? Which are zymogens or precursors, or we can also show them as proenzymes, right? Now we come to the intestine. This is a lumen. This is the blood. And these are the enterocytes or the absorptive cells. And here are what? Here are the partially digested but large polypeptides. And which part? This is the duodenum part. And this needs to be broken down. They need to be broken down into dipeptides, tripeptides, amino acids, which will be then absorbed, and then they will go into where? They will go into the bloodstream. This is our goal. So now this enterocytes are secreting what? They are secreting what? They are secreting enterokinase. And this enterokinase is doing what? It is converting trypsinogen into trypsin and chymo. And when the trypsin is secreted, it is converting chymotrypsinogen in chymotrypsin and procarboxypeptidase into carboxypeptidase. And this carboxypeptidase is hydrolyzing the proteins from the carboxyl terminal. Okay, the carboxyl terminal, remember this side. Now what is happening? There are, okay, now what is happening? There are tripeptides, dipeptides, small peptide chains. So they are all becoming converted into amino acids, and what is happening? These amino acids will come in the blood stream, which will be used by the body for either ATP production, or they will be used for what? For the growth and repair, but they will not be stored like starch. Okay, so there were few points. No digestion of protein in the mouth. Digestion of protein starts in stomach. Please read it. Okay, now we have done all this. Just so that you can revise, I have written again. Please write and learn. Okay, so here we said that amino acids are not stored, and what happens if they are not stored? We studied about that excess of amino acids are not excreted and not stored. So what happens? First thing, they become glucose. Second, they become, by gluconeogenesis, they become pyruvic acids. Third thing, they become triglycerides. So this is all what about digestion of proteins. And now we'll go to digestion of what? Digestion of fats. Okay, so digestion of fats will be our next lecture, and then we'll do some questions. So hope you are understanding. After this, we'll do some questions, right? Guys, stay safe, stay home, study hard, use your time intelligently. Okay, best wishes.